Okay, hi. Welcome to Math 151 College Algebra. I am Steve Brownstein. Okay, so let's see. This is me, just so we're clear, because there's a couple people in this picture. So this is Steve. Okay, I'm the one that's talking right now. This is my assistant, Jojo. Jojo helps me grade. He's a much harder grader than I am, so I don't let him grade too often. Mostly I'm going to do the grading. Okay, that's me. All right, let's begin navigating the course together. Okay, so to navigate the course, I'm going to go to the Content tab. That's where everything's housed. Okay, the servers are a little slow this morning. Okay, so here's the Content tab. Some of the main links are in the middle panel, and then on the left, there's some navigation. Okay, so I'm going to begin on the Getting Started checklist. I'm presuming most students have seen this already, but I'll just kind of show you what it looks like. Within the Getting Started checklist, we have links directly to information about the calculators, link to the syllabus. Of course, you can link to that through the content as well, schedule of work. Okay, so syllabus, I'm sure you guys know what a syllabus looks like. I'm going to right-click that, open it in a new tab, just so we can easily get back to where we were. So here's the syllabus. Okay, and you guys can read through this. There is a syllabus quiz. Some students have said a couple of the syllabus quiz questions are the answers are not correct on a couple of them. I do apologize for that. I did not create the syllabus quiz. I will try to edit it as soon as I have an hour or so to spare. It's super busy right now. I'll adjust any scores if there's an issue with some of those questions on the syllabus quiz. I do apologize, but we'll get that taken care of. Okay. You do take tests using either a campus tutoring center on one of the campuses at PCC, or you can take it online using a service called ProctorU, which I'm setting up right now. So the ProctorU should be set up by this weekend if you want to begin, like if you want to plan ahead and register a time to take test 1. Okay, there's 4 Proctor tests: test 1, test 2, test 3, and the final exam. So there's 4 Proctor tests that have to be done at a testing center or within ProctorU, and ProctorU wants you to reserve a time for them. Although you could reserve a little bit closer to the date if you want to. You don't have to reserve right now. Okay, so just you'll see those in the course schedule in just a minute. Okay, so you can just read through the rest of the syllabus. It's usual kind of stuff. The only difference is, since it's an online course, there's information about how to take the test. If you do take it in the testing center, once again, it's going to be on a computer, just with them proctoring you on that computer. Okay, all right. So let's go back to our Getting Started checklist. Let's look at the schedule of work. Schedule of work is probably the main page you always want to have open. In fact, I recommend that students bookmark the schedule of work. Make a bookmark for it right on your computer so you can always access it. Okay, there's a really handy graphical calendar here that tells you when each subject is due. Okay, so Module 1, Subject 1, Module 1, Subject 2 initially were due on Thursday night, but some students were having issues accessing on the first day, so I moved those till Friday night of this first week. Okay, so the thing to remember is the course is broken into modules. Each module ends with a quiz. Okay, so the order of the subjects within the module, the sequence of them when they're due. If you need a slight extension on some of them, that's okay. You can just email me. But the key is try to stick to this schedule as much as possible, but absolutely get all the subjects within the module done by the date of the module quiz. Okay, so they're laid out. Like when I double up subjects, it's because I feel those go together well enough and they're easy enough, relatively easy enough, that you can do them on the same day. Okay, and in order to remember, this is a very shortened semester. We have to cover an entire semester in just a few weeks, and so everything's a little bit crunched in. So there's something suggested to be due every day. Okay, sometimes 2 things on a day, 2 subjects on a day. Okay, and again, module quizzes. Okay, here's our first exam. Our first exam will cover modules 1, 2, and 3. I could have put the exam on the Tuesday, Wednesday, right after the module is over, but I figured some students might want to review a little bit, so I moved the exam. So this first exam covers modules 1, 2, and 3. It's on the Thursday and Friday, the 8th and 9th of November. Okay, it's a 2-day window for the exam. Okay, so you'll go into either the testing center or use ProctorU to take that. That's a proctored test. Similarly, there's a proctored exam 2 that covers modules 4, 5, and just 4 and 5 actually. Okay, and that's on the 2 days right before Thanksgiving break. Okay, and then we have our Thanksgiving break. When we get back, we have a very short Module 6. There's only four subjects in there. Okay, and they can kind of be doubled up. It's not a very difficult module. And then we have Module 7. Then we have an exam. Exam 3 covers Modules 6 and 7 only. Okay, everything after Exam 2. So Exam 2 covers Modules 4 and 5 on Exam 2. And then 6 and 7 are covered on Exam 3. And then we have Module 8. Module 8 is a little bit, notice there's a lot of days for these subjects, right? So like I don't have this is the only time I don't have a subject due every day, because these are lengthier subjects. They take a little bit of time to get used to. Okay, so just be careful when you're done with Exam 3. Just remember Module 8's a little bit difficult. Then we have our Module 8 quiz, and then of course the final exam. The final exam has a 3-day window. Okay, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So just make sure you'll be able to access that. Just in terms of your work schedule or your home schedule. This detailed description of assignments is actually not as detailed as the calendar. The calendar is the better place to look. Okay, this just kind of reminds you of when the module has to be finished by and when the exams are. Okay, so these are sort of like when it says Module 1 is due 10/24. Yes, that's true. Module 1 is due 10/24. Here's the date. But on 10/24, you have to be done with everything. Okay, you've got to be done with Module 1. You have to get all these subjects finished. Okay, so again, I'm suggesting that you finish them on this timeline. Otherwise, it's going to be too crunched up and you won't finish them. Okay, remember, you basically want to finish at least one subject every day in this class. Otherwise, you won't finish on time. Okay, it's just hard to get all this material done within this short block of time. Okay, let's navigate back into, so here's our getting started checklist. And we've kind of gone through that. There is a preliminary assignment, so we could click there as well. Okay, and preliminary assignment is basically on a discussion board. You have to post a discussion posting with certain components in it to show you how to use the discussion boards, and send an email to the instructor, and also take the syllabus quiz. Okay, and once again, I do apologize if a couple questions on the syllabus quiz aren't working perfectly. I'll give you guys credit for it. I wouldn't worry too much about the syllabus quiz. Just get the bulk of it correct. We can adjust the scores. I'm just more interested that you know the main issues about the syllabus and that you begin doing some of the homework. That's the main thing. Okay, I'm a pretty easy grader. I just, I know people have lives and people need to move stuff around, and the course, there's always a little bit of, rough edges to a course that we can fix up. Okay, all right, so let's go back into, so here's the syllabus. Here's our getting started checklist. I'm going to go back into content now. Okay, so I'm going to click table of contents, or you can click content up top. Let's open up one of the modules real quick. So let's open up Module 1. So I'm going to open up Module 1. So there's these different sections or lessons. Okay, subjects, sections, lessons. I kind of use all three words. Section, subject, lesson, all mean the same thing. Okay, there's 7 of them. As we saw in the calendar, there's 7 of them in Module 1. Okay, so here they are. So let's pick one of them and look at it. So I'll pick, I don't know, quadratic equations. So if I open up quadratic equations, that's one of the subjects or sections within Module 1. Notice at the top there's something called external learning tool. Okay, that's a quiz. That's your quiz. So if sometimes the external tools don't want to open up in a new tab. Sometimes they do. It's a little fidgety. Okay, but here's what the quiz would look like. Okay, and you have 3 attempts on each question on the quiz. Okay, so let's go back into the section. These web page links are your lessons. So let's open up one of the lessons. So I'm within the section 5 or subject 5, quadratic equations, within Module 1. So I'm in, just so we know where we are, we're in Module 1, section 5. That would be due on a particular day. The section 5 would be due like on one particular day. The Module 1 is kind of a week-long, roughly a week-long process. As you saw on the calendar, it's due kind of at the end of roughly a week. Okay, and so you would take a Module 1 quiz at the end, but I'm within one of the sections now. Okay, I just randomly picked section 5, quadratic equations, just so you can see what a section or subject looks like. So here's quadratic equations. There's the external tool, which is the quiz, and then there are lessons. Okay, so here's an introductory lesson. Okay, and it's better to, instead of using your back arrow, it's better to navigate up top, because the back arrow sometimes puts you way back to the table of contents. Okay, so now I'm back in, whoops, actually, even that bumped us a little too far. Okay, so if I go back into Module 1, okay, so I can navigate through vertically. Here's the section. Here's Section 1, Section 2, Section 3, Section 4 was complex numbers. I had linked directly into Section 5 as an example, quadratic equations. Okay. Now each section has remember, each section or subject. So if we go back to the schedule of work, where are we right now? If let's say I go to, let's go back to complex. Let's go to Section 4, complex numbers. Okay. Whoops, hang on. My mouse is a little, okay, there we go. Let's go to complex numbers. So I'm in Section 4, complex numbers. So where are we now in the schedule of work? This would be Module 1, Subject 4. So this would be Saturday's subject. Okay? That's what I'd be doing on Saturday. I should be Module 1, Subject 4 to keep up with the schedule. Okay? So here I am in the complex numbers section. Okay? And I would go ahead and read through the web page information. I would take, these are exercises that you can do on your own with solutions to them. And then there's a section quiz. Just for this section or subject, complex numbers, there's an external quiz that you would take. Okay? Now, once you're done with the module, if I go back to Module 1, once you're done with the module, there's a module quiz. That's different. Module quiz is on the whole module. Okay? So there's a subject quiz on each subject within the module, and then when you're done with the module, you would take the Module 1 quiz. So you would not want to take that Module 1 quiz until you're done with all of the subjects within Module 1. Okay? So you take the subject or section quizzes day by day as you complete them, and then you take the module quiz at the end of the module. Okay? And then as you navigate through, as we get closer to the exams, I'll send you information, about the exam. Hey, it's coming up, et cetera, and then you take that either at the testing center or using ProctorU. Okay? So that's basically how we navigate. Let's see, if I go back to content, the rest is fairly self-explanatory. We're just going to work sort of sequentially through these modules. That's our material, okay? And so if I go back to table of contents, I can see sort of, here's the master list, and, again, introductory material, and then here's our modules. That's where all the stuff is housed, okay? And all the links to the little subject or section quizzes, and then the whole module has a quiz at the end of the module, right? So once again, each section or subject has its own individual little quiz, and then there's a module quiz that's due at the end. And that's it. Okay, so email me if you have any questions. My email is in multiple places on the syllabus, and I hope you enjoy the course, all right? Thanks a lot.